Hello and welcome to our latest Gemini Rogues video. This is a V-25 Tier 2 German destroyer model. Come on, Killers 05. This has got some good history.
It's got some good history. Technically, the most built ship in the world. You know, in the series-wise, 71 built. The V-25 class, also known as a Type 1913, for the years they were built. So they built 71. 32 were sunk during World War One, which is quite a lot. Yeah, and then at the end of the war, 29 was scuttled at Scapa Flow and destroyed by a mine on the way. One managed to successfully do.
Take it, Scapa Flow is quite deep because a lot of stuff's in there.
Used to be.
Used to be deep.
Britain was given 4, and then there was one to Italy and France. They took one as well. It carried 3 8.8 centimetre SKL/45 guns, upgraded later to 10.5 centimetres when it was deemed that they weren't quite sufficient enough. 6 50 centimetre torpedo tubes, and carried 24 mines, which would be a nice addition to the game. The numbers relate to the shipyard they were built in. There were different numerous ones. They were built from 1913 up to 1915 at the old AG Vulcan.
So this is technically a torpedo boat, isn't it? It's not a it's an early destroyer, but torpedo boat.
I mean, the history goes in deeper with the V-43. The ship, the 43rd one built, was scuttled at Scapa Flow and then raised and repaired and taken over by the US Navy in 1920, before being used as target practice in 1921. So it was kind of a waste of time. And the V-44 and the V-82 were used by the Royal Navy as target practice before being intentionally beached near Whale Island and remain there to this day, using the English and North Sea and the Baltic when it was the V-25 class. That's where they mainly operated, trying to scupper a few ships, merchant ships on the way. And the actual V-25 itself was sunk on the 13th of February 1915 in the North Sea. So the actual V-25 itself didn't survive the war. One of the many destroyed there. So we'll come back to history and we've had a look at some stats. There's quite a bit more to go at.
Got to remember this Tier 2 model.
So Tier 2 survivability. You're not really expecting much, are you?
It's technically a tin can. You are going to get smashed if they hit you, which is a shame, really. It's a good little boat.
I mean, 8.7600.
It's not a lot.
Use them wisely.
It's about
Use them very wisely.
To be fair, the guns are very potent.
And you can see here that it's fitting the old 105 millimeters, the old upgraded guns that it got on after.
Yeah, I'd advise people to use a HE. HE is the main round I use on this because the guns don't do much damage. You're more likely to set them on fire.
Well, this is what it's all about, really. Torpedoes.
Yeah, the guns are secondary, really. Torpedoes are your main armament.
36.5 sounds quite a lot for the reload, but the number of tubes on this...
It's referring to the tubes on this. You've got 2 pointing forwards and 2 pointing sideways.
Which makes this incredibly deadly, especially the forward-facing ones.
The thing is, it only fires one.
But you're straight on. You're straight on, which makes you a smaller target as well. Nearly all angles and degrees covered.
I find that because the guns are very reliable, you seem to forget about your torpedoes at close range, but you shouldn't really.
Yeah, I mean, maximum damage is quite good, 10,600.
If you see that, you're lucky.
I mean, the air defence is not really.
Just forget. What's that? 3 damage if you hit a plane. Oh, sweet.
Just come back to the historical wise. One was removed the central part of the thing and had a spotted plane fitted to it before being removed again on the V-25 classes.
Nice one.
Manoeuvrability. It got its manoeuvrability from the oil firing equipment it got, so it was a very fast ship in its time. You can see that.
Well, it wasn't steam, this was oil fired.
36 knots. Sweet. So it is mobile.
Look at that concealment, man.
Is it even there? Is it even there?
That is pretty good if you add your camo. If you add your camo and I think some other perks in there you can add, that is pretty useful, as in sneak up, fire,
5 kilometres.
Shoot your load.
That is quite a close distance you've got to come within. 5 kilometres.
Thing is, it's Tier 2 and 3.
So this is the ammo you recommend to fire. Stick with your
I mainly do stick. Can I reload, man? 4 seconds.
Yeah.
That is
chance
very
of fire
good.
6. It's not substantial, but it's still there.
But it's the amount you're firing. It does put down a lot of fire. I stick to HE.
Firing range of 8.5 as well. And remember, your concealment of 5 kilometres as well.
The only drawback is the rotation of the turrets is a tiny bit slow.
And like shell velocity.
It don't really matter as long as you hit it. It's a derpy long-range gun. It doesn't really make much difference, to be fair. But the AP thing is, tier 2 stuff, tier 3. You do see a lot of destroyers, like what do you see in tier 3? There's quite a few.
What are you saying? Basically, you're going to get a lot of overpen.
Yes, because of the
there's not enough
skinniness
armor.
of the armor.
You're just overpenning.
Yeah.
And it's just doing less damage.
You
if
would
you're doing
be
it all.
surprised if I told you I've citadeled a few targets with these HE rounds. That's how tinny the targets are in tier 2.
And torpedoes got fair speed to them as well, 52 knots, which is not slouchy as well.
That's not slouchy, no.
Not at all.
It is quite slouchy in comparison to some, but reload time's quite useful. You do, what's that, 38 seconds? That's pretty good. That's without any perks either. Boosts are very, very handy. Don't waste these. Use them when you get close up and personal, because you get a tendency to get overrun by other stuff.
I just use mine straight away. Gets me to action quicker.
Well, to be honest, I do as well. I do as well, but technically, just try and use them to get out of trouble. But,
the kamikaze mode, I've got my head up.
Smoke, very useful. One tip, please do not sit in your smoke. You are a torpedo magnet.
Yeah, as we have seen in previous videos.
It's very useful, but don't rely on it.
240-second reload as well on your smoke.
Yeah, you get 2,
so
which is
don't
alright.
fire it off willy-nilly, because it's going to take a while for it to come back.
Yeah, plus it doesn't last that long.
Yeah.
The repairs is like unlimited, but it does take a while to come back, especially when you is wounded. This ended up being tier 2 and tier 3 game. Lots of gravy in this match. I need to confess that this is my first go in this.
This is a confession.
Yeah.
You're making excuses already.
No, it's my first go, and I find that it's a very, very nice boat to play this.
Yeah.
And if you continue up the German line, it is a very nice line to play.
Yeah.
I'd recommend the German line.
So we're going to work on its strengths. What's its strengths? It's a pretty good introduction, I'd say, straight away for actual learning torpedoing, because there's quite a vast array. I mean, look at it straight away. Look at all the firing angles you've got.
Yeah,
for torpedo.
true.
So it's a good learning one. Fast speed, high concealment.
Very good concealment.
It ticks a lot of boxes. So that's what I mean. As an introduction, if you're going to get into the destroyers, that's the kind of ship you want to.
No, it kind of gives you false promise, because it is very good. This is very good. Because your Japanese tier 2 one isn't that good. It's not as good as
this. It's also incredibly small.
Now when you see one of these and you're in somewhere else, you think, oh shit.
Well, that's always a sign of a good ship, isn't it?
Yeah,
when we see it before. We don't mention the tank game, but in tanks, there's certain tanks you see on that game and you think,
yeah, I'm turning around.
I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
This is the same kind of boat.
This is similar,
in a tier 2, even a 3, you'd think.
Oh god, yeah, definitely.
I need to
there is some tier 3 stuff where you do not want to come across one of these in the open or on your own. Because it is I really, really enjoy playing this. It's the guns, you see. The guns, not like any other stuff at tier 3. Say if I take example like the Campbelltown, which is a premium ship. It's a very nice little boat, to be fair. But the torpedoes are the primary weapon.
Yeah.
Like always, it's a torpedo boat. But the guns let it down. There's only 3 mounted at the front. Rotation slow, reload slow, damage is minimal. But this, you've got your spread of your guns down the middle.
One you've got at the front there you mentioned.
Yeah.
It also allows you to do what you're just doing there. Fire a couple of frontal ones off, spin to your side. You can even use your frontal ones as a diversionary torpedo to get somebody to turn in an angle you want them to.
It does actually. Now I shifted. I know, it's
fantastic.
Awesome. Now I just shifted right to fire off the centre torpedoes.
Yep.
Those front ones minimise the angle where you have to fire them, so you're reducing the angle where the ships can pen you because you're side on. But saying that's a tin can, so they will anyway. But anyway,
he's going to go in. Oh, there's one. One's gone in. Is that one? Oh, just passed it up the back. You can see the gun arc is a little bit loopy, and a little bit slow.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, if you're firing over range, it's a lot harder to hit a moving target.
Yeah,
because the actual time it takes for the shell to reach the said target makes him easy. I mean, you've said it before, when you know what the gunfire is on that. You know, once he's fired, I've got all time to turn, because it's going to take ages for that shell to get there. Little bit of a problem. Not horrific. Don't get me wrong. This isn't taking a day and an age to get there, so he's easily outmanoeuvring. But it is a little bit on the slow side. The gun are.
When you get tight tears,
Nicely done.
Ooh.
Nicely done.
Nice surprise.
You see a nice
Start
manoeuvre.
with.
You've not used your smoke screen yet, have you? You've been a good boy.
I've used
boost,
your
your
boost.
boost
I
going there,
want to
man.
get back into the action, man. But if you're playing these low tier 2s against tier 3 ships, you will find that you need to put quite a few torpedoes into the battleships because they have got quite a few hit points. So
You must be a swine from them. A, they can't see you.
Yeah.
B, they can't hit you because you're manoeuvring around that quick and you're quite small. And you're laying smoke screens down, you're coming out from behind an arm, you spin it back round, you're gone before they've even had a chance to turn their guns.
Yeah, now if you get on the right side of them where
Yeah.
the guns aren't pointing, then that's it, it's game over for
Yeah,
them.
it's incredibly
Yeah.
manoeuvrable.
So if you saw that guy there on the left, I'm using him
Yeah.
because he's a battleship.
Yeah.
It is a very good technique to stick with your fellow team, but obviously there's only 2 of us left on this side, which isn't good.
When it's
But-
not a common thing either, I must point this out, if somebody goes in this as the first torpedo boat,
You know,
they're not going to be expecting to fire forward facing torpedoes
no,
very often.
it's different.
It's quite a unique
It is actually. I think this
trait.
this trait goes up to like tier 3. I think in tier 4,
Yeah.
it's the same as everything else. But I would advise people when they play your destroyers, don't just go on your own. Try and stick with your team or a battleship, because your battleship will attract a lot of attention, which means
close, to be fair. It's 4 a piece here at the minute.
oh
get a
yeah,
chance to
it's
turn
very
this round.
close. Oh, now what I'm doing, sitting in my smoke.
After telling everybody not to do it.
I don't sit there for long, man. I don't like it. I feel exposed because everybody fires at smoke. Shouldn't really do it. But that battleship's come around the island. I'm actually waiting for him because I know that these 2 destroyers will be going for him.
Yeah.
So I know it's a bit mean, but I'm using it for bait.
Well, I've seen people moan about the V-25 saying it's got no armour. Torpedo boat.
Oh, it ain't got any armour, no.
It's not designed to. I've just not what it was built for. It's not
But-
some beermoth that's supposed to take a pound in it.
It is very, very
get in, get out.
manoeuvrable.
The whole
Yeah.
idea is not to get hit.
Yeah.
It's to keep yourself like,
I couldn't decide which one to get in front of it. It's like, which
See,
one
all
should I
the
get,
battleship
man?
design comes in there with the cameras on the cut angles. You can tell which one
Yeah.
was which. There's funnels everywhere.
I actually went for the Campbelltown. You know why? Because I know his guns are at the front.
Yeah.
He's only got one at the back. Oh, he's gone.
It's chucking
He's
straight
gone.
down.
Yeah,
We
he's
have got
gone.
an interesting, I will put that in. We've got a little bit of a break coming up for holiday reasons, but we have got a
Yeah.
very interesting, historical wise, Campbelltown video coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to doing that
I'm
one.
looking forward to doing that one.
But back to the V-25. You can see how
Yes.
potent it is. 20,000 damage racked up. And remember, this, like we said before, is your first game in it. So it's not like
Yeah.
you're used to the
No,
ship. You
it's
know what
first
you're
go.
doing. It's traits and everything like that.
Yeah.
This is the first time in it trying it all out. And look how results you're getting straight
It's
away.
very manoeuvrable. Very manoeuvrable.
I mean, the ship itself, we'll go back to historical wise, we've got a bit of a lull in action there. The V-25 class had 5 ships in it, obviously from the V-25 up to the V-30. The V-27 and 29 were destroyed at Jutland, at Scarpa Flow.
Yeah.
They were stuck there. The V-30 was the unfortunate one that hit the mine on the way there.
No.
Or in, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
means to an end.
Yeah.
And the V-26 and V-28 were the ones given to the UK. And I believe the ones near Whale Island that remain there to this
Oh,
day.
that's awesome.
So that is the V-25 class wrapped up historical wise.
How many crew did he have? They didn't have that many, did they?
Not numerous ones, but I mean, this is World War One ship. You've got to
Yeah.
remember, you're thinking of World War Two. I mean, it wasn't a generally done thing back then. You've got to remember, this is the first time that warfare took to the seas in this scale
Yeah,
of
mass
such a
scale,
vast,
yeah.
major.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
with-
talking worldwide.
You're
It's
talking modern weapons as well.
the first time you saw these kind of ships. I mean, they look old, but not too dissimilar to
Yeah.
your World War Two stuff. So you can see that they were.
Campbelltown did serve in World War II.
Yeah, you can see that they were moving on.
Not for very long, obviously.
But that was the V-25 class.
I make a mistake here.
Go on.
This ship I fire some torpedoes at avoids them. I could have
In a skilled
But
way or in a complete and utter fluke way?
I think it was skill, to be fair. Because what I should have done, I should have looked at which direction he was going in by looking at his smoke. But I didn't
The
zoom.
old funnel smoke.
I should have zoomed in to scope his smoke.
You haven't.
I didn't zoom in and I didn't look. I just fired off my fish. And unfortunately, as you'll see in about 30 seconds, he's very, very lucky.
It's quite narrow as well. the spread. It only narrows
You
spread.
do
I know
get,
it's a single one that you're firing from front, but the side, even the
only
wide,
fires two.
the wide arc is quite narrow as well. And you've got to remember that as well. It only fires 2.
Yeah.
But it only fires 2. You can spin this thing around and get the other side
not
pointing there within a matter of seconds.
Look at his smoke, man. Which way is his smoke going?
Yeah.
He's going backwards. If I'd zoomed in, I could have aimed my torpedoes properly instead of assuming. Because
Oh, another flag for collection. Capture flag.
Because if you,
is he gonna park that beautifully in between those 3?
if wait and see in about 10 seconds time.
One's just skimp front, one's just skimp back. That's incredible.
Would you believe that?
I don't know if there's skill or luck. I think there's a little bit of both in there. I'm going to give it benefit of doubt and say that was very skillful ship manoeuvring. Extremely manoeuvring.
The thing is, if you look at the guns are very, very good secondary weapon.
I mean, look how quick you've got out of trouble as well.
Yeah, definitely.
You were admiring them for a bit, to be fair.
I do. It's bad. It's actually a bad habit, to be
If
fair.
you're going to say, it's not like you've done that thing before.
It's a bad habit. People do not admire your torpedoes. Gets you in trouble.
The kill there racked up 3 kills.
It's a bit of a ninja, to be fair. He was on proper nipple.
Trip down the smoke screen.
Proper nipple, yeah, because I know he's
And
coming
your boot's
after
got
me.
nice. Look at that. Look how manoeuvrable it is.
It's a
You can literally
beast.
manoeuvre through the shots.
It's a beast. It's very, very enjoyable to play this. It's ship in tier 2,
Yeah.
even though you see a
Would
lot
it
of
suit
tier
my
3s.
style?
Oh, of course
The
it would.
kamikaze
Oh,
run through the
definitely.
centre of the old fleet.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't at all.
I've
Don't
got
waste your
torpedoes. I can fire them everywhere. I can get 4 different ships at once.
I suppose I could use you as a bait, I suppose. I'd be firing at you while they're not looking at me. But look, if you can notice my battleship is still alive.
Yeah.
He is still floating about. I do actually use him again. I try and tell him to go around the other side of this island, which he does. But unfortunately, he takes too long. His speed is a little bit slower than mine, by about 20 knots, I think. But
Slightly.
have you got any more historical stuff while we just
No.
bait this
I've pretty
this
much
model
shot my
round
load
the other
quite
side?
early.
Oh no!
We've gone through it all.
The other thing is, I know I've said it before about HE, I've not actually fired any AP in this game because you don't need it. The aim is you get more damage if you can set them on fire.
Yeah.
So I know you can citadel with AP, but
It causes a bit more confusion as well. You know, for somebody who's actually trying to sort out where he's firing his guns, his torpedoes, he's on fire. It's a bit of a distraction as well. There's alarms going off. He's got to find his fire extinguisher. He's got all sorts to take into account.
Plus, if he puts his fire out straight away with his repair kit,
And you get it straight back up again.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That is the aim. Set him on fire. He's going to use
Get
the
out of
repair kit. Yeah.
So,
Set him on-
we'll go through pros and cons. The
pros and cons.
So, we already know pros. It's fast. It's manoeuvrable.
that's a very
it's
good pro.
stealthy.
Yeah.
It can fire torpedoes from near enough every angle.
Yeah, only limited
Known
though.
to, yeah, you pretty much fire
What's in
from every. You
total?
can turn this thing around in
6
about 2
torpedoes.
seconds.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of. It's not like you're on about with Camel Time. We've got his guns up front. You ain't got to worry if he's facing that way. You've got to worry whichever way this thing's coming at you.
Like I say, you do take notice of these things when you see them. It is very. I won't say it's OP. It's very, very playable. It's good fun.
I mean, the negative slightly on the gun arc. It's a bit. It's a bit flat, and it takes a bit of a while to get. So you're not shooting on the top of things as well as I've seen.
No, it's because it's shooting over distance, and like you say, the velocity's not very good. But it's what was it, 10cm gun?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. But see, he's set me on fire.
Oh.
Dirty dog. That's it. I'm stuffed now. If he sets me on fire again, I'm done. But I can't physically fire any torpedoes at him because he knows I'm here.
Yeah.
See,
he's doing a fair bit of manoeuvring as well.
yeah. I know I keep saying it, but the guns are very, very handy in this model.
It's a torpedo boat with handguns, which sounds a bit crazy, but it's not always the case. Normally, you just rely constantly on your torpedoes.
No,
these things.
yeah, definitely it is.
You've got your guns, don't be wrong, but they're not actually that potent a weapon.
I don't really want to go into too much detail of the other tier 2 destroyers because we will be covering, but gun-wise, this is the best one for reload. It's the best for distance. I think it's the best percentage for
your
fire
battleship's
as well.
getting in round there.
Yeah,
a few shots coming. He's finally managed to get that on the side.
Unfortunately, it took too long, but we finished them off. Couldn't use torpedoes. I was permo spotted, but that's his first tier 2 destroyer / torpedo boat. covered Killers 05. It's quite nippy.
Handy 4 kills.
I would. Oh, I got 4, did I?
4 in there.
I would recommend this as a first.
It's a very good one to learn with. Just with it makes up for your inaccuracy of usage. Should I say? You're really fancy with words there for what they really need to.
Not being very good, Jimmy.
Yeah, to make up for your independence now you've got in this ship, where you're not quite the best at controlling one, but this makes up for it with its speed and manoeuvrability. You're not quite the best at firing torpedoes, but it gives you all multiple angles to go at. So
I would say it's the best one out of tier 2.
You can use it stealth a lot easier than normal, so you can fire torpedoes without being spotted as easily.
Yeah.
Tier 2 finished.
I agree with Killers 05. Nice one. Very nice. Anyway, laters then, people.